Aye, just to say to them, have a great night. Unfortunately, can't be there with them. Hopefully, they'll make a right few quid for two great causes as well on the night, and wish all the Falkirk fans as well all the very best, and hope to see them soon.
So I hope that the reunion is after 25 years. Have a great party, enjoy yourself, talk about old times. We see with what can happen in all these years. Be happy, be this kind of team we have been at this time, and just enjoy this wonderful night, and all the best greetings from Austria. I would like to be there, but it's not possible. So maybe we will see sometimes somewhere again. I've been to Scotland in autumn because we played with Ferencváros against Celtic, but we didn't succeed like Falkirk. So we lost in Celtic Park. But after 25 years coming back to play against Celtic like in autumn was also for me a big adventure.
For the team of 97, so near and yet so far, but what a great season. It was a pleasure to play with you all, and I hope you have a great turnout for the event and have a great night. Have a few beers for me, and I'm just hoping that the gaffer doesn't turn up with shell suit bottoms and his dodgy Hawaiian shirts that he used to do down at the Marine Hotel. But look, all the way from Australia, guys, it was a pleasure. Hopefully I'll catch up with one or two of you when I come back over to Scotland. But yeah, take care. Have a great night. Thanks for the memories. It was a bit of a shock when Eamon got sacked. Obviously, I think it was Big Clarkey was the issue when he played with us. I think the registration, something like that, hadn't been done correct. And then suddenly he was gone. The gaffer came in. And to be fair, he was brilliant for day one. Changed everything around. Improved the atmosphere at the club. And things just moved on from there. The gaffer came in, straight away says, you keep performing, you'll be playing every week, as long as you're doing your job. So you take that confidence, especially, I was only 21 at the time, so took great confidence from that. And things just improved from there. Like bringing Crunchy back was a huge boost. Obviously his legendary status, excuse me, but yeah, just his personality and his drive, especially for the younger players, was brilliant. So when you're bringing in players of that calibre, you're thinking, we've got a good chance of having success. Obviously the league was our main aim to get promoted, didn't work out that way. But yeah, what a signing that was.
Alex was a sir, for me. He was a kind of coach, great personality, and for me, a lot of things to learn as a player. And I like the way he's coaching, the way he's treating people, and for me, he's a great person. And I also want to send him all the best and all the wishes from Austria. I hope he's still well.
Well, the Berwick game, especially down there, was a terrible. I mean, the wind, rain, heavy part, and it was a game where really it was rolling up the sleeves and getting through it. To be honest with you, because there wasn't the best conditions, typical cup conditions, I suppose, But we were favourites to beat them, and I think we definitely deserved to beat them. But as I say, it was a roll up your sleeves number.
I remember the Berwick one because I nearly got sent off, diving in at a challenge, I think near the end of the second half. But being young and impetuous, you learn for these things. But that always, things could have been a lot different had I been sent off.
I remember the atmosphere and everything being brilliant. And I mean, lately back to the days of old Falkirk, you know, like kind of when you, I remember used to go to play there with Hibs and what have you, and it was always quite an intimidating atmosphere, you know, like kind of, it was always like a cup game. That's the only way I can play it at the old Brockville. Really, games were like cup games, so they were, rather than league games.
Obviously, then you're playing against our rivals, Dunfermline. As you well know, you don't get bigger games than that as a Falkirk fan. So to beat them, I think they were in the Premier League at the time. To beat them at home was brilliant. The fact it was at the old Brockville was obviously made it a lot better with the atmosphere and the fans. So the first couple of games were very contrasting. Replay at Berwick and then the big one against Dunfermline.
There's no love lost between Falkirk and Dunfermline at the best of times, and passions were running high in the cup tie at Brockville. Chances in the early stages were few and far between, and it was the 12th minute before Dunfermline opened the scoring. Jerry Britton slipping the ball to Stuart Petrie, Petrie with his third goal of the season. A lovely ball from Britton, Nelson well beaten, and Dunfermline 1-0 up. Falkirk's equaliser was well worth the wait. Kevin McAllister with a great solo run, shrugging off all in his way and disposing of Westwater as well. Quality finishing by the diminutive striker, much to the delight of the home support. Falkirk back in the game, the cup tie finally poised at 1-1. In the second half, Dunfermline took the initiative straight away, Nelson stopping Andy Todd's header. The Pars continued to turn the screw, and this time it was the post which stopped Andy Todd. Dunfermline could have edged ahead minutes later. The long ball from Colin Miller, great control from Andy Smith, and what a save by Nelson. The Falkirk stopper keeping his side in the cup. The defence were having a busy time of it. Fortunately for them, Craig Robertson's volley was well over. The home fans were getting restless, but they were soon cheered up as Falkirk made the breakthrough. Jamie McGowan well up for the corner, David Hagan in space and driving low into the corner. Could Falkirk be heading for a place in the last 8? Former Dunfermline player Kenny Ward with the corner, a timely header from McGowan, and Hagan skillfully makes it 2-1 Falkirk. But could the First Division side hold out as Dunfermline desperately tried to get themselves back into the match? This effort, though, was going nowhere. In fact, it was Falkirk who might have gone even further ahead 7 minutes from time. Kenny Ward again the provider, and Scott Crabb not far away with this one. It was a nervy last few minutes. Dunfermline just couldn't find a way through a packed Falkirk defence. It just wasn't going to be their day. In the final chance of the match, Colin Miller sweeps the ball into the box. But again it fails to find the target, thwarted by another fine save from Nelson. So Falkirk claim a memorable Scottish Cup scalp. At last the Brockville fans have something to shout about.
You knew it would be a tremendous atmosphere today, you know, a great rivalry between Falkirk and Dunfermline, but I was very proud of the players. You know, we changed our system today, they adapted very, very well. Pleased for them and pleased for the fans, they encouraged them right from the start, and we've had a lean spell here, so hopefully that victory today will give the players a lot of confidence.
Obviously I watched your clip promoting the event, so it was good to see that.
I actually noticed from which I owe you an apology for that clip, because it was your goal. I wasn't realising until I looked after against Raith Rovers. Big Albie was running away celebrating, but it was you that was credited with the header, and I miscut out that you heading the ball in there. Like I thought, and it's not until I looked back after I realised, it was your goal.
Oh, I remember that because a great lad, Albie. But yeah, any sniff of a goal, he was claiming that because we were arguing about it. But not arguing, but discussing it after the game. And typical Albie, he was like, nah, my toenail clipped it in. So, oh look, the ball went in the back of the net. That's the most important thing.
They knocked out Dunfermline in the last round, and Falkirk fancied themselves for another cup upset. Danny Lennon of Raith Rovers managed to get in the way of David Hagan's close-range header after just 7 minutes. And the Falkirk fans were further encouraged as Raith defender Andy Millen got the ball from Scott Thompson, lost his footing and let in winger Kenny Ward for a shot which was deflected just off target. The home team were supposed to be the underdogs, but that's not the way the game turned out. Former Rangers and Hearts man David Hagan tore down the touchline. His cross was headed against the crossbar by Scott Crabb. Kevin McAllister's shot on the rebound was charged down. The worried faces of Jimmy Nicholl and Ian Munro on the Rovers bench. But their team did begin to attack the Falkirk defence. Good skill from Danny Lennon, a miscue from Andy Gray, and David Craig's shot wasn't what Raith were looking for. For Falkirk, enters stage right Andy Gray with the long throw, and a header from Kevin James found its way past Thompson, 1-0. Albert Craig played conman and claimed it, but the goal really belonged to defender James. Not that these fans were really bothered. Craig's part in the goal was getting in the keeper's way, and the ball bounced in. On loan, Soren Anderson would love to have given a goal as a parting gift to the Raith fans, but Craig Nelson blocked his shot and Neil Oliver cleared. From the resulting Kevin Twaddle corner, Craig's header was well stopped by Nelson and sub Mark McGraw knocked it off the line. The danger wasn't completely over and Anderson had another go at putting Raith back in the game. Hagan had a run in the sun and showed his tremendous pace. He linked up with Scott Crabb, who set up Jamie McGowan. His shot had Thompson worried. Rovers were getting desperate, and a combination of sub Paul Harvey, Peter Duffield and a deft chip from Andy Millen opened the way for a chance for another sub Tony Rougier. Agonisingly for them, it was wide of goal. This one wasn't. McGraw supplied Crabb. Good skill from him. He fed fans' favourite McAllister, who teased Millen before sending over the perfect far post cross. It wasn't defended too well and Hagan climbed highest to head home. 2-0 Falkirk with 9 minutes left. The players seemed pleased and no way back for Raith Rovers. That was how it finished, and the Brockville team through to the semi-finals for the first time in 40 years. Alec, I'm told that the last time Falkirk won the cup they beat Raith and Berwick on the way.
That's right, Rob, because I never missed a round. I was at all the games, you know, in 1957. I was only a kid then, but it was absolutely magnificent, you know, very, very exciting. As long as I live, I'll never forget it. It was great. If we could emulate that, it would be tremendous, but I say we'll just take each hurdle as it comes along.
You must be delighted. Another Fife scalp, another Premier scalp today.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who we beat, really, you know. I like to win every game, but I say we've done very well against Dunfermline, and the same today. Raith are a Premier League side, so, but I don't think any club likes to come to Falkirk, to Brockville, because obviously the great atmosphere here and the fans again today were magnificent.
Andy, you've enjoyed English Cup glory. The Scottish version's going well for you as well?
Yeah, today went brilliant for us, and everyone's like looking forward to the next round.
Who are you fancying for the semis?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I mean, if you're going to go out in a semi-final shootout, I'd rather go against Celtic, because to me that would be the final. If we like draw them in the semis, to me that would be the final, regardless of whatever.
Celtic. Will play Falkirk, and that completes the draw for the semi-final of the 10th Scottish Cup.
Falkirk, captain of Falkirk, facing Celtic now in the semi-finals.
I think we're going to be happy with that. It's going to be the biggest game in Falkirk's history for a while. You know, they've been long-suffering fans. We're going to try and give them something to shout about now. You know.
Do you think you can give Celtic a game?
I think we will. We're with every game this season, we're growing in confidence. We're playing a lot better now. So the new managers come in and we're playing some good stuff, and hopefully we can give them a good game.
having never experienced being in the cup semi before, the build-up was phenomenal. The whole town was buzzing. That's what that's all they would talk about. And I'm sure Crunchy will remember fondly the amount of photos we took with the little and large, and then all the posters in Falkirk and me and him. It's as if we were a couple. But yeah, the build-up was great. The whole town was buzzing. New experience for a lot of us in the team. So, and then the gaffer's taking us away, as he did in the cup run, down to the Marine Hotel for a few days in preparation for that. Those days, obviously, we're all professional, but generally on the Tuesday night, the gaffer would let the boys have a couple of beers, nothing out of the ordinary. He put trust in us. You do your hard work on a Tuesday. He'd let the boys have a couple of beers on the Tuesday and then let us use the facilities on the Wednesday. So, yeah, it was great down there.
Certainly, you need to watch out yourself, because nobody could work much harder than you, the amount of times you had to venture up front for a throw-in.
I tell you what, I couldn't do that nowadays, that's for sure. Yeah, it's funny looking back on that, the amount of times going up and back. And while we're kids, the assistant manager, Zico, he was always adamant that you go back as quick as you can, obviously, as a defender. So I was probably lucky I was young, because I couldn't have done it later on in my career either.
Yeah, this was in '97, and for me, this was an opportunity. I went on trail to Dundee United, and we played a friendly against Falkirk, and then I did not so bad, and then they asked me to stay in Scotland and play for Falkirk, and for me it was a great chance, because they told me we are in the semi-final against Celtic, and it's a massive game, and yeah, it was for me a big experience, and we were all a little bit, we enjoyed to play against Celtic, and something totally new for me, playing in front of this big crowd, and this was one of the things why I decided to stay in Falkirk and to play there. Yeah, there's a lot of good characters, Andy Gray and Kevin McAllister, David Hagan. I have had I think a very good relationship, but some crazy guys like Scott Crabb, he was brilliant. His humor, his kind of humor, and so on and so on. So I could mention every player nearly, because I come as a foreign player to Falkirk, and they took me how I am, they accepted my personality, and for me, it was really nice to be there.
We rode the luck a few times, but yeah, when you look at the quality player that we were playing against, a credit to be fair, the whole team, but yeah, the back three were certainly worked. But when you've got a player with Andy Gray's ability and experience, helping obviously myself as a young guy, talking you through the game and that, it was invaluable.
It's exactly 40 years since Falkirk last made it to a cup final.
Out to the Falkirk right wing, where Tommy Murray collects it. He centres and Merchant scores.
George Merchant put Falkirk ahead against Kilmarnock in 1957, and the thought of a little extra incentive helped the Bairns finish off the job in extra time.
The manager came along and says, right boys, win the cup today, you're on £50 a man. It may not sound a lot just now, but it was a lot to us. And an old colleague of mine from Dundee, Andy Irvine, always remember him rolling up his sleeves and saying to Reggie, I'll kick my granny for that.
The team and the town got a kick out of that cup win, and there's a strange feeling it could happen once more. Street celebrations remain something of a strange phenomenon around here, but could one be about to happen again? Close investigation of Falkirk's current cup run reveals some curious coincidences. Falkirk's Bairns beat Berwick Rangers 2-1 in the third round. The same thing happened in 1957. Falkirk saw off Raith Rovers on the way to the semi. The same thing happened in '57. And an 11-year-old Falkirk fan named Alec Totten, who was there in '57, is now the manager. He's aiming to take the Bairns back to their first final since the one he watched against Kilmarnock, ironically the team which recently sacked him.
We like to emulate, what happened in 1957, and there's a great desire amongst the players. They want to do well because the thing is, we're in the semi-final in merit. If you ask the respective managers of Berwick and Dunfermline and Raith Rovers who we beat, they would say we deserve to be in the semi-final. But people say, oh, you go and enjoy your day. But as far as I'm concerned, you only enjoy it when you win. And we're going there to win on Saturday. We want to clear that hurdle and get to the final. And we know it's going to be a tough game, a hard game, because Celtic's a lot of class, quality players. But at the same time, Falkirk's going well, playing with a lot of confidence.
Confident they are. The last remaining First Division side in the competition has lost only 2 of its last 14 games, and Falkirk well remember what it's like to put Celtic out of the Cup. They did that 4 years ago.
They've got a lot of better players than they had that day. I think they've only lost maybe 4 or 5 games this season, so it's not that much of a crisis. But we know we'll have to be at the top of our game to win, and we'll just take our chance on Saturday.
Celtic won't greatly fancy a tie against a Falkirk side which has already disposed of 2 Premier Division teams, and for whom the unexpected is an everyday occurrence.
Obviously, the guys like a practical joke, don't they?
You're right, Hazel, they do like a practical joke.
But will the joke be on Celtic in the semi? Stranger things have happened.
Could the underdogs inflict more punishment on Tommy Burns and his team? The answer coming up with commentator Jock Brown.
That Celtic lineup provides confirmation of the fact that Paul McStay has failed the fitness test, but the bigger shock is the relegation of Jackie McNamara to the bench to make way for Enrico Annoni. No starting places either for Simon Donnelly or Brian McLaughlin, but Andreas Thom returns and David Hanna wears McStay's number 8. Tommy Johnson starts his first match for his new club following his £2.4 million transfer from Aston Villa a couple of weeks ago. 26 years old, he's equally comfortable in an attacking midfield role or as striker, so he offers manager Tommy Barnes various tactical options. There's lots of experience in that Falkirk team, but also some very promising youth in the 6'7" frame of 21-year-old Kevin James in central defence, and 19-year-old left-back Andy Seaton, who will be the youngest player on the field. Scott Crabb has been in 2 losing semi-final teams for Hearts. Andy Gray, though, was more successful in the FA Cup, where he played for Crystal Palace against Manchester United in the 1990 Wembley final. Now 32 years old, he's in the twilight of a career which saw service also with Spurs, Aston Villa and Queen's Park Rangers. He also has 1 solitary England cap. And the man in charge is Glasgow solicitor Willie Young from Clarkston. It's a banana skin of potentially mammoth proportions, this, for Celtic. Coming into this semi-final as very hot favourites, but against the Falkirk team growing in confidence under Alec Totten, just 2 defeats in their last 14 matches. Celtic, on the other hand, haven't won in their last 4 after beating Rangers in the quarter-final. So not a touch here for Craig Nelson. The conditions absolutely excellent for the game. A real festival occasion with a very enthusiastic crowd packed in here. 47,000 supporters, a capacity crowd virtually. A real international lineup this for Celtic. And only the Italian playing into Johnson English and back to the German Andy Thom. The clearance came from McGowan. The usual fast start from Celtic. Fine play there by McAllister, and the recovery was made by Cadet. Always willing to do that back checking on defenders in possession, and forwards making breaks like McAllister. A slip there by Gray. He tried to deliver that pass. There's Di Canio. Thom towards Cadet. Cross goes Gray. Strong play by Cadet. Hanna in the holding role in midfield for Celtic. Annoni towards Johnson. Strong challenge there by James. This is Crabb. Bad tackle by Stubbs. Alec Totten, irate, leaping from his dugout there. The yellow card is administered to Alan Stubbs. Comprehensively beaten Stubbs here by the skill, the sharpness of Crabb. Looking after just 6 minutes for Stubbs, causing a problem. There's McGrillen, beaten with the ball by Annoni. Great control shown there by McAllister. And the tackle came from Tosh McKinley. Good attacking play from Falkirk. First chance really to make any impression on the Celtic defence. Falkirk playing in their change strip, the red tops, because they prefer to do that. They have these checked blue and navy blue strips as their normal first choice, but they feel luckier in these ones and obtained authority. Kerr gets some help there. Kerr thought he was fouled. The referee wasn't interested. Di Canio breaks. Still Di Canio coming a long way forward. That's for Cadet, who's onside. Johnson waits in the middle. Tom is there too. Fine defending by Oliver. James has gone forward to the corner of the penalty area. Menace of James is clear. Good goalkeeping by Kerr. Now McGrillen on the turn. It's turned in by Crabb. It's offside, it won't count. Dejection for Scott Crabb. Well, a problem caused here by Kevin James's height in the box. Good little flick on there. It was hooked away, in fact away from Stuart Kerr inside the area by O'Donnell. That was McGrillen. And the offside player was Crabb. We'll see it from this angle better. The shot goes in. Watch McGrillen here turning for the shot at goal. And yes, Crabb was in an offside position when that shot was released. Scott McKenzie, real workhorse in midfield. Very important role to up and down in that area. All over to McGowan. It's a very neat turn. Supporting McAllister, that's for Crabb. McGrillen's calling for the ball on the left. Very clever effort there by Crabb, but he had Paul McGrillen in acres of space on the left-hand side. Look at the space there for McGrillen. Now Crabb only one thought in mind to try to chip the goalkeeper. It's a very good attempt to do that, but surely he could have played McGrillen in there. Di Canio starting to move deeper and deeper. An excellent jinking run. The pass goes all the way through to Tom. Relief for Andy Gray. It went right through his legs. What a relief for the Englishman. Well, this pass by Di Canio should have been mopped up easily there by Gray. A bad slip, and Tom had a golden opportunity. Peter Grant, Paul McStay, Malky Mackay. In the director's box with Gordon Marshall and Morton Weghorst. An expensive array of talent there. Seaton doing well there against Annoni. Clear foul by McGrillen on Cadet. So a late opportunity here in the first half for Celtic. We're into stoppage time now. Di Canio is onside. Still Di Canio. The header by Cadet. The ball reached him coming much too quickly, I think. Couldn't expect to control this. Well, just onside and no more there, Di Canio, and now the trouble is on for Falkirk. Over on the far side was Cadet. The last chance for a fascinating first half in which Falkirk surely have taken the honours defensively. Some very stout work they've done, and they've also found the net in the first half. although the goal was chalked off scored by Scott Kraft early on. Certainly he was offside, but what a boost to the confidence that gave Falkirk. They battled heroically throughout that first half. The Falkirk fans enjoying the experience to the full, and very few clear-cut chances going to Celtic. At half-time, it's Celtic 0, Falkirk 0. So Falkirk get us away for the second half. Celtic certainly knew before this match that it wouldn't be easy, but I wonder if they appreciated just how tough it might become. With Falkirk really fired up for the occasion and very well organised. Alec Jordan waving Kevin James towards the penalty box for Falkirk. That's good defending by Stubbs. He's taken a knock in that challenge with James. He's on the ground, Alan Stubbs. Will be played out, I'm sure, deliberately to allow attention for Stubbs. Might see better what damage was inflicted. There was the header away. There seemed to be a clash of heads there with James. Anxious moments. So Stubbs is carried off towards the Falkirk supporters, and sportingly they've given him a very good round of applause out there. And Anoni has gone to centre back, McNamara to right back. Canio. Tom wanted too long the ball, McGrillen stepped in. Still Andy Tom has possession. Here's Tom again with a cross. Reagan up for that, going to touch on. Canio against McAllister. Falkirk's throw. McKinley sprinting forward on the left touchline. Boyd finds Di Canio. Oh, it's good play by Di Canio. Chance opening up. Good covering play again by young Andy Seaton. McNamara stopped in his tracks by McKenzie. There was a hand used there. Kick to Celtic. McGrillen the culprit. But look at this challenge made by Andy Seaton as Di Canio came sprinting inside. Seaton timed that superbly. James did well. McGrillen got a touch. The shot on there. A great save from McAllister. Kerr saves Celtic. Oh, terrific attack that by Falkirk. Stuart Kerr came to the rescue. It's such a quiet match. But the header down initially caused the problem. Then the first time shot from McAllister had Kerr at full stretch. Tom. O'Donnell. Di Canio switched to the Celtic right. It's great wing play. Chance now for Cadets. Came off McGowan. Well, Di Canio again opening up Falkirk with his wing play, this time on the right hand side. Brilliant play and a superb pull back there for Cadet. It was going in, I think, but for McGowan. Both dugouts now becoming agitated. Header away there by O'Donnell, reaches Di Canio, who's back on the left. This is Tom, who's found space, not picked up in the middle of the field. That's unusual. A chance for Johnson. Well, you can see what he thinks about that. Put on there by Johnson with the chance that Cadet's been waiting for. Great block by Nelson. Back it comes to Di Canio. Such composure. It's scored by Johnson. The breakthrough at last. 65 minutes of the semi-final gone. Heroics from Craig Nelson couldn't keep Celtic out. Cadet at the first opportunity, brilliantly saved there by Nelson. But then there was great play by Di Canio after the header back there from O'Donnell. Di Canio thumped it across. It was helped on by Cadet.
and Nelson couldn't prevent Johnson scoring. What a series of opportunities here. What a scramble there was. It broke kindly for Celtic there to O'Donnell. That's a good header. That's fine play. Cadet helped it on. The block was made by Nelson into the path of Tommy Johnson. His first goal for Celtic. Well, I think Di Canio was trying to shoot for goal there. It ended up happily for Celtic. It was off. McKinley has done well on the run. Now McKinley is being booked for a dive. There certainly appeared to be no impact at all on Tosh McKinley, but it is very unlike him to go down like that. You'll see here whether any contact was made. He saw the gap to go through. Perhaps didn't have any real belief that he'd make it, and he wasn't caught. The referee was very well positioned. Has worked so hard. He is off. Mellor goes into the attack. Albert Craig goes into midfield. It looks as though Falkirk are leaving Kevin James upfield. Gone to a flat back four for the closing stages. McAllister's in trouble. He's going to be booked, I think. Supporter wearing the colours this afternoon out there and showing his frustration with that infringement. O'Donnell taking it away. It's a high challenge there by McAllister. McKinley. That's for Johnson. Oh, that's brilliant goalkeeping. Johnson coming in the blind side of the defence. Well, what a top-class save this is. What a good first touch it was too. Brilliant timing by Nelson. McGowan now breaking on the right-hand side. Remember James in the middle for this. And he is! He's equalised for Falkirk! The change in tactics has paid off. Kevin James with just his fourth goal for Falkirk. The cross from Jamie McGowan. Kerr was caught flat-footed. It was bulleted home by James. And suddenly Falkirk are back in the cup. Fine cross. Not great goalkeeping, it has to be said, by Kerr. But what a good header it is by Kevin James. Bulleted home there. A powerful figure attacking the ball so well. All be worthwhile that moment there as Kevin James headed home. Ball's out of play and an insignificant change made by Falkirk. They've reverted to their original formation now that they've equalised. Well, James is back at centre half. No spell at centre forward brought the equaliser. Head on by McNamara. The layoff came from Di Canio. McGrillen backtracking with McNamara. Bit of slackness there by McGrillen. A wrestling game there with McNamara. Looks like a corner kick's been given. Taking shot. Only one man out for Falkirk. Here's Di Canio. Header on, reaches Cadet. Couldn't control it. Desperation in the Falkirk defence. Another good ball. It's thumped away this time by McGrillen. Falkirk staying around the penalty box, not following the ball out. Staying on the ropes here, hanging on grimly as Celtic come forward again. This is O'Donnell. Chance for Anodi. Broke off Cadet as a goal kick. Disappointment for Enrico Anodi again. One good header out of the half, past the post. And this was set up by O'Donnell. Blocked there off Gray and then Cadet. Falkirk at last have some players upfield. Referee Willie Young checks his watch again. There was a lot of injury time though for Alan Stubbs particularly. That's why the game is going on so long. But it's going on no further. Falkirk have earned the replay. A dramatic match here at Ibrox. The Tennent Scottish Cup semi-final. Honours end even. It looked as though Celtic were home and dry when Tommy Johnson scored in 65 minutes. Then he brought out the best save of the match from Craig Nelson, and then just a few minutes after that, Kevin James bulleted home, equalising with his head after 82 minutes, and Falkirk's determination and resilience has been rewarded with a replay. Their supporters stand to give them an ovation. The Falkirk players go to take the applause. It's richly deserved, and for Celtic it's bitter disappointment. They'll have to do this all over again in 10 days time, but for Falkirk they savour the moment. They're the heroes.
Our whole team doesn't cost as much as one of their good players, and when you looked at the team it was frightening. You were just overawed for a while, and then you knew, when you get on the park it's 11 men versus 11 men.
What does that make you think about a replay? You think you've got a better chance now?
Yeah, I think so. I think we know how they play now. It took us a while to get used to the pace. With us being in the first division, the pace was really fast to start off with, and I think the boys defended well, especially going in at half-time 0-0. We were really pleased.
Tell me about your recollection of your goal.
Well, the manager put me up front about 5 minutes before that, and I was wondering what he was doing. And the way we set out today, he was wanting Jamie McGowan to get wide right. And I think that's maybe the only cross he got in the game. It was a great cross, and we missed from there.
Well, you know, we prepared in a professional manner this week, you know, and the players were up for it, you know, and I thought today they did exceptionally well. You know, we played well as a team, and but they firmly believed they could come here and get a result and get a win, and I think everyone saw that today. So all in all, everyone played their part, and we could have won the game with a couple of chances we had.
There was the feeling that if you held out for the opening 20-25 minutes, then things would be really going to script for you. Was that what you felt beforehand?
Yeah, well, Celtic and Rangers are always the same. They always come at an express train, trying to nearly go and get their crowd behind them. I felt we weathered the storm. You know, defensively we played very, very well. And but the goal we scored was magnificent. You know, it was a great cross with Jamie McGowan, and big Kevin James was a tremendous header. And delighted for him, delighted for the team.
I suppose you then had a big decision to take at that point, whether you reverted to Kevin James at centre-half or left him up there looking for a winner. What was the thinking then?
Well, the thing is, because Celtic scored, they changed their tactics, you know, so that's the reason we put him up, because obviously the threat at 6'7" is a threat in opposition box, and along with the boy Gerard Fellner, two tall guys, and so once he scored, we put him back again to try and tighten things up a wee bit, and felt we could maybe create another chance. But it's all in all, I thought it was a great performance by the team.
Obviously, we've gone 1-0 down, and generally, if we're struggling, we're trying to get a goal near the end of the game, then I get pumped up front and we just launch the ball forward, get scraps, try and get a goal. And obviously, with the three at the back, we had the wing backs with Jamie McGowan on the right and Andy Seaton on the left. I just remember the balls got played in behind for Jama, and he just whipped in a ball, and to be fair, it was like slow motion. I think it was Stuart Kerr, I'm sure, was in goals that day, and you could see him coming out. You can just tell he's not getting there. And basically just watched the ball. As soon as it came near me, closed the eyes, and then let it hit off the head, and you go. And it was just a surreal moment. Great memories looking back on videos and stuff like that. Just the celebrations and the atmosphere in Ibrox that day and the reaction of the Falkirk fans. And it's funny because after the game going home, my granddad's had been at the game with my dad, and obviously when we scored, everyone's jumping up and down. Bloody false teeth fell out. And the gaffer sent me back to centre half because the question in the press after it was why didn't I stay up front? But obviously we wanted to get the draw.
There are some absolutely superb prizes. Watch this.
be fair, I'm glad that night it was raining and it was nice and cool, because obviously the first game it was really warm, sunny afternoon. But yeah, the second game after Mowgli scored, it just took an eternity to end.
For tonight's replay, Celtic stuck with the team which beat Aberdeen 3-0 on Sunday to end a run of 5 matches without a win. That meant fit again Tommy Johnson had to settle for a seat on the bench. Paul McStay was ruled out by injury and Paolo Di Canio was captain. Falkirk, bidding for their first Scottish Cup final in 40 years, named the same 14 who did so well last time at Ibrox. And since then, Cup hero Kevin James has been called up to the Scotland under-21 squad. The referee was Willie Young and the commentator Jock Brown.
So it's Celtic who start this 10th Scottish Cup semi-final replay. And remember, the match must be settled tonight, whether it requires extra time and penalty kicks or not. There will be a winner by the end of the night. And Falkirk's display in the first match suggests that this could be very tight indeed. Kevin James making his first clearance in the match. McGrillen hustled quickly there by Hannah, but it's still with Falkirk. Natural left-sided players they have on the side in Seaton, Hagan, McGrillen. But now Celtic can break. Here's Di Canio. Brilliant movement from Di Canio. Oliver trying to get on terms. But neither a shot or a cross that from Di Canio. I think he was going for goal with that. Hagan's header. McGrillen showing his determination there. Forceful play from Hagan, nimble footwork. Outside him is Crabbe. Awkward for Kerr, the offside flag is up against McGrillen. But that's encouraging play from Falkirk, applauded by their supporters. Excellent build-up, led by David Hagan's break from midfield. It was a very tight decision. Seaton with that cultured left foot comes forward. That's one for Crabbe to chase. He can't outpace Boyd for that though. Good play there by Mackenzie. A shooting chance is on. Spilled by Kerr. That shows how difficult conditions are. What good play it was by Scott Mackenzie. Intercepting that ball as O'Donnell waited. It was difficult for Kerr. Right, Damara again. Trying to take on Seaton. That's good play by Mike Namara. And a good run made by O'Donnell, trying to get across the bows of Mackenzie for the shot. This is good play by Mike Namara. Seaton didn't make life easy here at all, but that little shimmy made all the difference. Mackenzie did just enough to put O'Donnell off. Tom again. Looks to be in the mood tonight. Kenny was just onside. Good deep cross. Here's Simon Donnelly. He allowed the angle to close on him there. The first touch took him a little bit wide. Nelson protecting that near post. Good play again by Di Canio. The far-flung cross reaching Donnelly. That touch really denied him an excellent chance. Not happy at all at the moment. Offside against Crabbe. The referee hasn't spotted the assistant referee. As Falkirk now come forward. McGrillen couldn't get that towards Hagan, but here's space now on the right-hand side for Falkirk. McGowan supporting in the back. Delivery is good. There's Hagan. Now McGrillen. He scored! Falkirk take the lead! 19 minutes of the first half gone. And Falkirk celebrate. It was fine play, but look at the space for Hagan here now. He played this back on the volley. The chance was now on. It's a great, intelligent, looping header from McGrillen, leaving Kerr totally helpless. But just look at the defending here. Tommy Burns will be furious, I'm sure, but that was a great bit of finishing by McGrillen. Well, look at this from the reverse angle in a moment, but look at the reaction there on the Falkirk bench. Alec Totten, the whole people staying very quiet. McGowan's cross getting all the way over there to Hagan, who won that ahead of Tom, who didn't defend well. A lucky bounce there, but what a good header it is. Di Canio plays it short. This is McNamara changing the angle for the cross. The importance of James clear once again. Snatched shot by Donnelly. Tommy Burns looks on from the director's box. Stubbs offers himself on the right-hand side. Very accurate long pass, and normally that's a good ball to Cadet, who's been totally anonymous in the match so far. Carelessness by Hagan. This is Di Canio, now Donnelly. Gray got a touch, and there's McAllister back defending. Now wants to go for a run with this. Scott Crabb has taken up good position. Support coming from Seaton. Gray's return through the middle, but Crabb was offside. The flag went up, then came down. The throw goes to Falkirk. Well, Andy Seaton performing heroically there for Falkirk. Anxiety there on that Celtic bench, no doubt. Checking the watch for Alec Totten. That'll tell him. A quarter of an hour. Quarter of an hour remaining in the first half. Stubbs was up well. That's Di Canio to Hanna. Off goes Donnelly again, making some very intelligent runs now. Back it comes to Di Canio. Promising here for Celtic. The deflection across the face of goal. Turned away by McGowan. He seemed to get enough ankle there on the goal line. He did just enough though to save the day with Falkirk. Hanna now to McNamara. It's all Celtic, but they've trailed by one goal. The goal scored by Paul McGrillen. Di Canio. A clash there, and the referee is taking action against Di Canio. Kevin James gives him a volley of abuse, but what's to come here, because the return pass from Andy Tom, and there was the wrestling match, and Di Canio in a big hurry there to go down. Too big a hurry as far as the referee's concerned. It's a yellow card for Di Canio, and if he talks any more, it could be worse. James with a header. Hanna and Stubbs go for the same ball, but it breaks for O'Donnell, who's in a quiet match. Careless one there, allowing McAllister to take over. McGowan breaks on the right. This is Crabb with a super layoff. McGowan now charging forward, one-on-one with Stubbs. Still McGowan. Terrific play again from Falkirk. Jamie McGowan applauded there by the Falkirk fans for this terrific run, but look at the contribution made by Scott Crabb. What a great layoff it was, an intelligent piece of forward play. And McGowan coming on here to take on Stubbs, looking for a shooting chance. A reminder there, I think, that the Celtic defence could be vulnerable. Down goes Crabb. He too's in trouble. Andy Tom applauds the referee's decision. It's a booking for Scott Crabb for diving. He's not a happy man. Alec Totten determined, I'm sure, that his team should go at half-time in front. McNamara. There's no offside. The ball's retrieved here by Cadet. Falkirk let him run. That's bad defending. And here's the chance. Very slack play there from Falkirk in defence. Alan Stubbs had the chance with a header. Look at the time Cadet had to turn. Send over this good out-swinging cross for Stubbs with a header. Well, I think Falkirk may well have made it to the interval in front. Alec Totten desperate to see that happen. Indeed, it is half-time. Alec Totten makes the dressing room have to work very hard indeed. Paul McGrillen has provided a scoreline which will reverberate around the country. The half-time score provided by this goal scored by Falkirk in 19 minutes. Jamie McGowan, who set up the equaliser in the first match, sends over an excellent cross. Hagan tried to play the ball back in, got a lucky break there, but Paul McGrillen knew exactly what he was doing as he put Falkirk ahead. So the Falkirk supporters celebrate a half-time score, which is Celtic 0, Falkirk 1. So 45 minutes separate Falkirk from a place in the Tennent Scottish Cup final. The first time in 40 years, and their opponents will be the same opponents as they had in 1957. Kilmarnock. David Hagan penalised there. Free kick goes to Celtic. Good interception again by Gray. This is McAllister. Across goes Crabb once again. Scythed down by Stubbs. That's a clear foul. And he'll be yellow carded for that. I mean, he just took Crabb from the back. The yellow card is shown. He's very good at screening the ball, Scott Crabb. Expert at this. Holding it off. Clear foul. And the yellow card's been shown. Alec Totten going across to check and damage and have words with Kevin McAllister. Celtic will make a change very shortly. Tommy Johnson will be on before long. That's Gray's cross. Chance on here. And it's off the post from Scott McKenzie. What a let-off for Celtic that was. McKenzie denied. With a thumping shot here. Gray's cross not adequately cleared. Fell into the path of Scott McKenzie. Look at the power of the shot. And Kerr was certainly beaten. This is Stubbs. What an amazing let-off, and what a difference that might have made. A second goal for Falkirk at this stage. Another hefty challenge there on the far side. Came from Andy Seaton, and Tommy Johnson will now come on for Celtic. The player coming off is Phil O'Donnell, who scored a cup final goal for Motherwell in 1991. But you'll see this again from a different angle. There's Andy Gray's cross. Look at number 8, Scott McKenzie, coming on to this to hit it with such power. Di Canio comes inside. Johnson attempted with a tongue. Back now with Tom. It's a great save by Nelson. Kept in play by Cadets. Well, that could turn out to be crucial before the night's out. What a good save it was by Craig Nelson. Andy Tom found the space at the edge of the penalty area here. That came through a ruck of players very quickly towards Nelson. Here's Di Canio coming along the byline. This is promising for Celtic. The dummy from Johnson was a good one. Entitled, I think, to expect support from behind. Now here's Hagan. Counter-attack on. McAllister trying to come through the middle. There's McAllister. But he had to be headed off there by McKinley, who did a good defensive job. Johnson's layoff. Boyd well forward. That's too far ahead of Cadet with Nelson committed. Well, complete miscue, but it was enough. Player down here, and the referee is not holding anything up here. It looks like Paul McGrillen, who's down there getting treatment, and he's the man who might have been McNamara playing this in. Clearance from Seaton. Falkirk continuing for the moment with 10. McGrillen is the player off the field. Well, Paul McGrillen came to grief here. I think this is how it happened. As the ball was played in there, he collided with his own man, Kevin James. Well, no wonder he felt that. And it'll be Albert Craig who comes on. Very experienced player for these circumstances, a 35-year-old. Paul McGrillen being taken up the tunnel in the stretcher. As Di Canio attacks again. Good change of direction. This is McNamara delivering a driven ball, but with too much height. Another opportunity is wasted by Celtic, and the supporters are not happy. Not what Gray intended, I suspect. McAllister did so well. Crabb to McAllister again. good running. Simon Donnelly trying to match him. That's good wing play by McAllister. And an awkward ball across. Very close to the top corner, that from Kevin McAllister, applauded by his teammates and by the Falkirk supporters. Look at the way he twisted inside here. Knew exactly what he was about, I think. Once again, Andy Gray on the end of the cross to turn it away for yet another corner kick. Can Falkirk survive? Canio's cross, Hannes header, and again a chance. Spun at the post by Donnelly. Number 8 is David Hanna, 9 is Donnelly. It's Hanna first with a head flick on. Straight to Donnelly. Here's McNamara. Away from Craig. Mocked from Seaton. Craig did well. Seaton comes forward to support the attack. Led by Fellner, the fresh man up front for Falkirk. Going away from Di Canio. Not from Stubbs. Well, that's such an important contribution made by Fellner. That long surging run to take the pressure off his defence. We'll get up towards his second win, I think. Quarter of an hour left. Falkirk dramatically just those minutes away from the cup final. This is McAllister hoping, I think, to hit a corner, but he hasn't managed that. And now Falkirk are going forward rather a lot there, so a chance for some more space for Celtic on the break. Cadet's pass is a good one. Oliver's timing was excellent there. He closed in on Tommy Johnson. Quickly taken corner kick back to Di Canio. Tosh McKinley wants the ball played square. Di Canio goes it alone. Comes off the post. Turned away by Mackenzie. Hanna can't believe that. And the ball is still in play. But James with a clearing header. Seaton thumping the ball forward. This is McAllister. Into space it goes for Fellner. What can he do all on his own here? It's Di Canio who's back with him. He needs to wait for help. He's got a chance to put it right towards McGowan. Well, that's a wasted effort there by Fellner. But he did again relieve the pressure. It's been a good substitution. Well, this was the nearest yet for Celtic. Di Canio coming inside with his left foot playing it into space. It came off Mackenzie. It would have been an own goal, but he cleared up in the end. Di Canio away from Seaton. That's great play by Di Canio. Promising again for Celtic. And once again the cover was there inside the box. Andy Gray attacking that ball inside the 6-yard box. It's great play there by Di Canio. Kinley's corner. Gray attacks that. There's Nelson. He's fumbled. And it's a free kick to Falkirk. Celtic wanted a handball decision. Nelson in trouble here. Handball there by Albert Craig, but the whistle had already gone. McKinley screaming for the ball on the other side. Andy Gray going strongly on Cadet. Mackenzie now to Fellner. That's for Hagan. Hagan now against Stubbs. Josh Cadet all the way back there. That's great running by Hagan. Offside against Craig. What good football it was again from Falkirk on the break. They still carry a thread all right when they come forward. There wasn't a lot in this either. Look at the ball played there. In fact, arguable for sure. Well, important, I think, for Falkirk to make it clear they do carry a threat coming forward. That keeps Celtic alert and doesn't allow them just to throw everything forward. Although there's so many men in attack now, you wonder how long Falkirk can survive. There's McNamara. That's That's a very fine shot by Tom. An excellent goalkeeping from Nelson. McNamara and Di Canio seeing so much of the ball on the right-hand side for Celtic. That's a very fine pass by Di Canio for McNamara. And a chance at last for Cadet. Few of these tonight, but this is perhaps the best so far. McNamara's pull back there. It was awkward for Cadet, skidding off the surface. Cadet plays it down for Di Canio again, but they can't get it beyond James that time. That's a foul, surely. Andy Seaton, the culprit. Alec Totten, 5 minutes from history being made. And now, could this be the break for Falkirk? Can McAllister do anything? Look at Andy Gray streaming through the centre of the field here. He wants the ball played in there. Scott McKenzie's also there. McAllister plays it across and it's turned away for the corner. Very good defending indeed. A crucial block made. But Andy Gray doing so well here. The ball played in there and Tom Boyd got in front of him. To McKinley. McLaughlin, who's had little of the ball since he came on a sub. Now's a chance to go wandering there. He's away from McAllister. Here's Tosh McKinley in an excellent crossing position. They're queuing up there, but the first player to the ball was Albert Craig. Corner kick to Celtic, the support giving them some backing here. They've been so quiet all night. Di Canio loops it in. Good save there by Nelson. Bounced up under the crossbar. Got the touch on there. Well, for once the Falkirk defence breached in the air this time. Good headed on by Stubbs. Chopper again, and once more Falkirk have survived. It's a goal kick. Craig Nelson under siege there. It's a poor ball in. Held up by Craig, who's trying to prevent a corner. Seaton managed that. The clock around the stadium shows 94 at the moment. It's all over! Falkirk are in the cup final! Who would have believed that Alec Totten has led Falkirk to the cup final? It'll be Falkirk against Kilmarnock. A repeat of 1957. What an incredible performance by Falkirk. The boos you hear coming from the Celtic supporters was so distraught about this. But look at these scenes of joy among the Falkirk players. Andy Gray and Kevin James, undoubted heroes. They were heroes to a man in Falkirk jerseys, appreciated by these fans who made the journey again for the second time for the semi-final. Kevin McAllister, who came here from Hibs to join Alec Totten and join Falkirk again. You can see what it means to him. It's a Falkirk-Kilmarnock Cup final. The odds were so huge against that. Andy Gray will play in a Scottish Cup final, having played an FA Cup final. Alec Totten savours the moment. The handshakes with the officials. But what an incredible occasion. Craig Nelson, who was such a hero in goal, savours the moment with his teammates. The Falkirk supporters have not left the stadium. For Celtic, it's disconsolate players trooping off the field. The stage belongs to Falkirk for the most incredible semi-final performance. They took the lead in 19 minutes. They held it right to the very end with some desperate, although very well organised defending. They've shown heart, they've shown courage, determination, led by Alec Totten, and the celebrations will go long into the night, and Kevin James and his teammates will grace the cup final against Kilmarnock on the 24th of May. The amazing score from Ibrox. Celtic 0, Falkirk 1.
All credit to the players. I mean, absolutely magnificent. With a great cup campaign, beating Dunfermline, beating Raith Rovers. And once we drew with Celtic the first game, people said, well, you don't get two bites of the cherry. but the players proved otherwise. Obviously, their backs to the wall a few times because Celtic, a lot of class players, quality players, but their lads run their socks off, and I'm absolutely delighted for them, delighted for our fans.
Paul McGrillen scored so early. How are your fingernails at this stage?
I haven't any left. It's just fantastic, I say, because they worked their socks off, and a tremendous result, you know. But pleased to see the fans going away with a smile on their face and back here again the 24th of May. It's tremendous, great for the club, and good for Kilmarnock as well. So I think it should be an excellent final. Scott
McKenzie could have tied it all up for you in the second half. What was your view of that one?
Well, one or two chances. I mean, obviously Celtic a lot of corners as we expect they would have because of the quality they've got, you know. But I thought defensively we were excellent, played very, very well. And I'm not just talking about the back four or back five. It was everyone played their part. So it was very much a team effort again. And but to come here and beat Celtic in a replay, I mean, it's absolutely magnificent. And you can't praise the players highly enough. I said before the game that we're here for one reason, to win the game. And we're back here again the 24th of May to win the game. So hopefully we can win the cup.
Can you try and describe what is going to happen in the town of Falkirk now before the 24th of May?
Oh, unbelievable. Same for Kilmarnock though. I mean, I'm delighted for Bobby Williamson. I mean, Bobby to go from me, and last night there were 7 players out of 11. I signed for Kilmarnock, you know, and they're a great bunch of lads, and Kilmarnock's a big club, a great club, but so is Falkirk, so I think it should be a fantastic final.
Yeah, well, Celtic have got quality players, you know. The two fullbacks, their strength to get it wide and to get good balls in. So we had to try and stop the two fullbacks getting forward. So, but they had a lot of possession, but we defended like deep and we were able to go on the break. And I think the way we worked on that, I think, well, we think we deserve to win anyway.
You've been at Falkirk, that was your first club. You've been full circle down to London all the way back. How does this rate in terms of your achievements in football, Kim?
Well, I can honestly say, when that whistle went, I've never had a feeling in football like that before. I just feel absolutely tremendous, and I don't think I'll ever beat that. Even if we win the cup, I don't think that when that whistle went there, it was absolutely unbelievable.
What's it like in that dressing room at the minute? Bedlam, I would imagine.
No, lads have just had a cup of tea and that, and they're going to have an early night, so nah, absolutely. I think the lads can't believe it. It's not really sunk in yet, but it's we're absolutely delighted.
For me was you come in this crazy game, you know, and we wanted to defeat. We wanted to that we don't get a goal, and everyone was working for each other. You know, we were running like crazy, fighting like crazy, and this was a great performance from the whole team, from the goalkeeper to the strikers, from everyone, and everyone gave his 100%, his best, and. Yes, and we did it, you know, and we were very, very happy.
I think more effort, especially by Crunchy, was put into celebrating after it, because we never seen him at training for a couple of days. But that was the nature of Falkirk, obviously a relatively small town compared to Edinburgh and Glasgow, and just the way the fans were, especially obviously with Crunchy being a local lad. You wouldn't get that normally, and that was credit obviously to the Falkirk fans as well, the way they conduct themselves. So yep, Crunchy was away for 2 days. I went back there, can't remember too much about it. It was a long journey home back to Edinburgh, that's for sure, with a sore head, but well worth it. And yeah, it was great just mingling with the fans, and just that whole sort of period, especially the build-up with the semi-final, was just, that's all Falkirk, the whole town was talking about at that time. Sitting after, a couple of days after we'd won the replay, everything starts to sink in. Jesus God, we're going to the Scottish Cup final here. We've just beat Celtic, as you mentioned, Dave, the quality players that they had. Yeah, surreal considering our sort of league performances as well. We were confident going into it. Obviously, you've just been Celtic, and I think our last league game, because it was a couple of weeks before the final, we had beat Morton. I'm sure it was 3-2 at Brockville. Yeah, so we were confident. We didn't underestimate Kilmarnock. And to be fair, the first half, we were pretty poor. Like, you don't know at the time if it was stage fright or not. I wouldn't like to think so, considering we had just played 2 games against Celtic, but never clicked for us in the first half. The second half, obviously, we picked up trying to get the equaliser. And as Jimmy Greaves would say, football's a funny old game. But you had that feeling if Ollie's goal had stood, I think we would have went on and won it.
It was the friendly final with both sets of fans on a mission to make the most of the day. And it was the sunshine final with blue skies over Ibrox and the 49,000 crowds. The commentary comes from Billy McNeil and Jock Brown.
So first, Kilmarnock, a team which is a mixture of youth and experience. McPherson, Montgomery, Kerr and Lekovic provide experience. Bagan and Burke have only 35 starts in the first team between them. And Gary Holt wears that number 8 jersey, with John Henry fit enough only to have a place on the bench. He's been struggling a little before the match, and he has been left on the bench with Tom Brown and Ali Mitchell. This is how Kilmarnock are likely to line up, with the width provided by Bagan and Burke, Riley and Holt in the engine room, and that very interesting role for Paul Wright just off Jim McIntyre, in a role very difficult to mark. So Paul Wright plays in his first cup final at the age of 29, and he is the top scorer for Kilmarnock. He's had a career which has taken him from Aberdeen to Queen's Park Rangers to Hibs to St Johnstone and to Kilmarnock. Jim McIntyre celebrates his 25th birthday this afternoon. The man who played for about 9 minutes in the cup final 2 years ago for Airdrie against Celtic, a match in which he picked up a loser's medal. He doesn't want to repeat that experience this afternoon. Falkirk 2, a very impressive mix of youth and experience. Neil Oliver, Andy Gray, McAllister and Crabb provide experience, and the youth provided by Andy Seaton and Kevin James, both members of the Scotland under-21 squad. And the likely formation there, 3 up is the normal formation for Alec Taughton's teams. McAllister and McGrillen with Crabb through the middle, and the 3-man central defence there with Kevin James and Andy Gray, protected by Neil Oliver. Kevin James has become something of a household name in a very short period of time. He scored that towering header against Celtic to equalise in the first semi-final, and since then his career really has caught the attention of so many people north and south of the border. 6'7" tall. Paul McGrillen experienced the build-up with Motherwell in 1991 without taking part in the match, and he scored the winner in the replay against Celtic, and then took a very heavy injury which made him a doubt for a brief spell, but being fit for this match. But he's there, wearing the number 11, following his Potage, his man he admired most in the game, who was Davy Cooper, from whom he learnt so much at Fir Park. And a very great honour given to the referee Hugh Dallas. He is refereeing the Tennent Scottish Cup final for the 2nd year in a row. The 39-year-old company director is doing that for the first time since Brian McGinley 19 years ago. The 1997 Tennent Scottish Cup final is underway, with Kilmarnock trying to get forward straight away and opening up with Gary Holt playing wide on the right-hand side. I wonder how long that will last. The game, in fact, has kicked off just about a minute and a half early, before the 3 o'clock, which reminds you of the 1976 final when Derek Johnson scored for Rangers before 3 o'clock, one of those perennial quiz questions. So an easy little catch there for Craig Nelson in goal, and the ball goes behind harmlessly for the goal kick. Too, with his encouragement for his men. McGarren's header. Burke's control lets him down. McAllister, 34 years old, twisting and turning, testing the Kilmarnock defence. Here's Crabb, down he goes. The tackle came from Montgomery. Crabb looks for a penalty, but looks in vain. Scott Crabb was incensed about that, clearly believed he was fouled from behind, and I wonder, Billy, if he had a case.
Well, it's an interesting move. You know, I don't think there's much in that, really.
Well won by James, but once again could do nothing other than concede the corner. Burke's corner. Chance for Wright. 1-0 to Kilmarnock. Played. This is promising again for Kilmarnock. On the far side is Paul Wright. And Andy Gray got back just in time. Falkirk were exposed again briefly.
It's a tremendous pass and it's a really good cross into the box, and Gray does so well. He sprinted a long way back. Had he not got to that ball, they were in real difficulty.
That's Bagan. If he can reach this before James, which he can't. Here's Paul Wright again. Didn't fall kindly for him that time. Kenzie's headed out, time over Riley. Wright again. Better play from defence by Falkirk. Graham now has McAllister on the right. Hagan goes sprinting past him. This is Hagan. Good delivery, McGrillen! Superb play by Falkirk. And Falkirk get us away for the second half. A long ball again aimed for Hagan on the left-hand side. Good play again by Hagan, and that cross he delivered in the first half was from his weaker foot, the right, a natural left-sided player. That made it even better in terms of quality, I would suggest. Shoulder charge there with Holt. Seaton's cross is a good one. James is there. Well, a second ball not being attacked by Falkirk players. He's onside, he was in his own half. McIntyre, chased here by Gray. It's a wonderful tackle by Andy Gray. Magnificent defending.
Pace, you know, it's the pace of Gray getting back here. McIntyre does everything right. He cuts across his path, but still gets the challenge and magnificent defending. What pace he's got when he uses it.
Well, if Falkirk come back in this final, that could be deemed to be a match-winning tackle. Falkirk have to have men looking for the second ball. Another good defensive header there by McGowan. Far post ball this time, attacked by James. It was a chance. Just about the first time in the match, he's been totally in the clear. McAllister linking here with Mackenzie. It's amazing how Falkirk found so much more space in the second half, especially in the middle of the field. Here they go again. McAllister. Fellner's ahead of him. Higgins to the left. To the right is Crabbe. Dug out there by Montgomery. Andy Gray's long throw. James goes for the head on. That's saved brilliantly by Rakovic. Held just inside. That's the absence of Kevin McGowan demonstrated.
Once again, these long throws, but no, Kevin James attacks that ball much more positively than a great save from the goalkeeper. Magnificent save from him. But obviously McGowan's been a big influence on that aspect of the game. But good header from Kevin James there, but what a good save.
This position's been on all afternoon for a long throw, right at the corner flag. Terrific ball in, there's James. It's there! The equaliser for Falkirk! Neil Oliver! It's chopped off! It won't count! It's being chopped off! The long flat throw from Andy Gray. Kevin James getting up for this, helps it on. It's taken on the volley there by Oliver. And that's been chopped off for an offence inside the 6-yard box.
Well, it's a great touch on. I'm not convinced it's offside when the header's made.
It's into Neil Oliver in the middle. There was a long amount of stoppage time to add on, but I wonder how much more there will be. No more! And Oh, disappointed Falkirk supporters, but they've been standing there waving their flags. They know they had a team there which gave them absolutely everything, especially in that second half. Sam Galbraith there, Scottish Office Minister, Gordon Brown, and the sponsors' tenants. Dejected faces.
Alec, our commiserations to you and the team. What's your overriding emotion at the moment?
Well, naturally, I'm very, very disappointed. I think it was a game of two halves, really. The first half belonged to Kilmarnock. They played very well, took the game to us. The second half, we took the game to Kilmarnock. And I was proud of the players. I said that before. In interview Hazel, you know, irrespective of the result, I'm proud of the players.
Yeah, it was a massive game, you know. So to play a Scottish Cup final was watched all over the world. You know, I have friends in Australia. They watched this game. Even in Austria, I was the first Austrian to be in a Scottish Cup final. So this is something for history. I mentioned that it's a really a big game, you know, and it's a shame to beat Celtic and then to lose against Kilmarnock in the final. So we were very sad because I think 25 years later, you know, it was not necessary. So, yes, at least we didn't make the last step in this case, but we can be proud of our performance.
Looking back,
and even of our performance.
That was a cup final. I don't know, we run out of steam, whatever. But yeah, it felt like that. Definitely not at the time, because obviously we were focused on winning the cup. But when you look back on things, and obviously with the result against Kilmarnock, yeah, that turned out to be sort of our final. And it took a lot over those two games. But they can't take memories away, that's for sure.
It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No. When I feel heavy metal, and I feel that I need when I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure why I make you.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. All those nights when you've got no lights, the check is in the mail, and your little angel hung the cat up by its tail, and your third fiancé didn't show. Be glad there's one place in the world where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows